getting a 4-post lift without equipment. It's kind of a difficult task. You can see what I have to do. Crazy shit. So here's the rest of the lift already inside the garage. Not a big deal, but this is gonna be a challenge to get to the garage. It took a while, but finally the runways are inside the garage, and now I have to put all this together. And of course I already made a mistake. Since I didn't have time to read the manual, it turned out that this runway does have a hydraulic cylinder on the other side, which means the pump is gonna be down there, and now I gotta flip it to be here, and same for this one. So both of them need to be flipped. Since I do need my hydraulic pump to be here, you can see the fuse box is here. I need to run a few wires for 220 outlet, but this is not the biggest issue which I'm having. This is easy fix. I mean, I'm just gonna flip it, not a big deal, but the biggest issue is my garage door. Since the clearance between the floor and the garage door when it's open is only 7 foot, you can see the rail up there. So the clearance is not a lot, and I gotta move it up to 9 foot if I wanna use this 4-post lift to be able to store one more car actually. So what I have to do is extend these rails. What I'm going to do is basically cut the rail from over there and extend this one, then change these rollers with a different one since it does require a longer rope, and also change the garage door opener since I'm not going to use this one. With this garage door opener it's going to be a lot more difficult to do, but with the side mount garage door opener it's really easy. I mean, not really easy, but a lot more easier. And I think this garage opener is kind of weak. It's only 1.3 HP, 1/3 actually, or something like this. I don't know, I think it's weak. Anyway, it doesn't matter, I already bought another one. And my other biggest issue is my shelves. You can see how much junk I have, and I do need to move out these shelves about 1.5 foot, and that's actually the biggest issue, since I gotta take off all this junk, then move them 1.5 foot. I'm almost done with raising up the shelves. You can see how it's turning out. Now I barely can fit one crate up there. So all this which I did is gonna give me 20 additional inches of clearance between the floor and the garage door when it's open. Currently the clearance between the floor and the garage door is about 86 inches. So that means 86 plus 20 inches is gonna give me 106 inches. So I did a little bit more math, and it turned out that math is not working in my favor, since this runway it's 5 inches. We're gonna subtract 5 inches of 106 and it's gonna give us 101. So let's say roughly 100 inches clearance between the floor and the garage door when it's open. And when the garage door is open, it's going to come up to here, somewhere around here, about 60 inches from there to here. Currently it's coming up to somewhere here. So that means that I'll be able to barely fit both of my eclipses, since they're about 50 inches high each of them, so 50 on the bottom, 50 on the top, and I will be able barely to fit them. And I kinda don't want to get rid of my shelves to do it the right way and just raise the door a little bit more. And I'm gonna run to another problem if I do this, since currently with 20 inches lift of the garage door is gonna be less than 2 foot, and maybe this spring is gonna work for quite a while. But if I raise it up to 3 foot, the spring is gonna be really weak, and definitely will need to change it. I will need to change it now anyway, most likely, but I'm gonna give it a shot and see how she's gonna react to all these changes. But this is another reason which I don't want to get rid of my shelves, since I'm gonna have to find the correct spring, and it's a lot of work, and I don't want to deal with this currently. So I'm gonna give it a shot, roll the dice, and see what's gonna happen with the current configuration. Hopefully I don't have to do it twice after this. But my other idea is also to move the lift forward a little bit. So let's say the lift is gonna end up somewhere here, and this is gonna give me more clearance, since let's say the door is gonna end up somewhere here, and this way the car is gonna be further in, and I'll be able to fit different kind of cars on the lift. That's the idea. The only problem is gonna be that there's gonna be one beam sitting right here. You can see how is my current configuration. So I'm gonna go out, and one beam, bam, right here. Not good, but I think that's how I'm gonna do it, since I really don't wanna deal with all this crap here. It turned out that whoever did this door didn't set up the tension of the spring right, or the spring is too old, which is most likely was the case, since right now the garage door opener is disconnected and I'm able to open the door manually, but it's really difficult, and the door doesn't want to stay open. You can see she wanna go down. So we will see what's gonna happen with this spring once I load it up a little bit. Most likely it will break since it's too old, but this is something just I noticed. Change of plans again. I completely got rid of all the shelves, and now the garage door can be opened all the way up. All the rails are done. This is the new piece which was added, and the garage door is somewhat operational, but I bought the wrong drums. This is a regular drum. I need a high lift drum. Also, the spring is the stock spring. I need to change the spring to something stronger. I'm going to put two springs actually for safety, and it's gonna be a lot better. Let me show you that I can actually open the door somewhat. So you can see that the door will stay open, which is pretty normal, but as soon as I try to open the door a little bit more, the weight is too much, since the spring is too weak. So I'm gonna let it go, and you can see that it's going down by itself, and it's not completely shut down, which means the spring is overloaded. So basically this is the maximum I can go on this spring. I'm going to replace it since it's way too dangerous anyway. This is just temporarily. The difficult part was calculating the right spring, and I also added a plywood, as you can see, since the rails are going like this a little bit. Maybe I will need to readjust them a little bit more once I install the new drum. Let me show you the information I found, since I did a lot of research to get to this point. So basically you need to download this application, Spring Engineering. Open the app and then let it load. Just a second, and then gonna click here, Spring Engineering, and you're gonna add all your information about your door, and it's gonna calculate what kind of spring you need. So I'm going to use 2 springs. I'm gonna click 2, and then the inside diameter of the current spring is 2 inches, and the cycles I'm gonna switch it to 15,000, and then I'm gonna choose high lift here, and after this I'm gonna add the door. So it's the white, it's 16 foot, and the height it's 7 foot. Then I'm going to select the drum, so I'm going to use this one, 454-54. This means 54, it's this distance, it can be higher than 54, so from here to here, so basically this, like this, you're gonna put a level here, and this distance cannot be more than 54 inches. Mine is 34, so basically this distance is from the top to here, it's 34. 34, I mean, not 54, 34. So I'm gonna put it here, just a second. And now I'm going to put, you see, high lift inches. I'm gonna put here 34, and the only thing left is to put the weight of the garage door. This garage door is approximately 200 pounds, but I need to measure the door, and how I'm going to do this is put a one weight scale down there and lose the tension of the spring. But let's say it's 200 just for the example. So 200, and this done, and this is gonna calculate the spring you need. You see, 234, 2 inch and 39 inches long, so that's the spring you need, 2 of them. So that's it, pretty simple. This app is really good. I was struggling to find the correct information, but that's how you're figuring out what kind of spring you need. I'm about halfway through with the assembling of the lift, and so far it's pretty much straightforward, nothing too difficult. You can see how I position the lift. These passenger side posts are dividing the garage basically on the middle, and I just realized something, that the pump is going to be here, and I gotta exit through here when I park the car, and you can see how close it's to the wall. So I'm not sure how this is going to work out, since if I try to exit through the back, there is basically no way. I made a small mistake with choosing this side for the lift. I should have put the lift on this side, but you can see that I have all these tires and I gotta take them off the shelves, and it's way too much work. And here I do have some room up here, that's why I kinda chose this section of the garage. And I'm kinda worried, maybe I can exit through this corner, since I'm gonna park the car somewhere here, and I think I'll be able to exit through here, but we'll see once I put it together and park the car. And I hope that it will be all good, otherwise I have to take off all this and move the lift to the other side, and I just don't even want to think about this. I'm mounting the first runway. It turned out that I need to take off these pulleys here to be able to install this runway. The first runway is mounted, and now I'm moving to the second one, which is a little bit more tricky because I need to go over this beam to be able to install it, but at least this one is a lot lighter, so it's not big of a deal. And I'm using only a jack and this transmission jack also, and the regular one, so pretty basic tools. I have the engine hoist, but I gotta move it, and why not just with the jacks. The both runways are mounted, and the next thing on the list is to mount the pump, which is going to be on the inside of this post. And the pump does have some kind of a gasket, which is a good thing, since as you can see I ran the bolts through it and now they're not moving, which is gonna make the installation a lot easier. and then I'm just going to tie it down with these nuts and washer which they provided. So pretty straightforward. This thing is not that light, but I think I can do it by myself without anyone helping me, so we'll see. And yes, if you're asking yourself, can you do it by yourself? Of course. Actually, it's not that heavy, because once you apply some pressure to it, it's just gonna stay and you're gonna be able to tie down these two nuts. Alright, I took off the pump since I decided to switch the sides, and I also forgot to add these brackets, which are kinda needed. I am not quite sure, but I'm going to change the sides and mount the brackets. The pump is relocated and now it's a lot more easier to operate. You see the lever, the button, and I also mounted the bracket which I forgot to mount the first time. I still haven't mounted the small bracket which is supposed to go right over here, but I don't like how it's gonna look if I mount the bracket right over here. That's why I'm gonna mount it up here. You see this hole? I'm just gonna use a separate bolt and nut for it, which are not provided in the kit. They are telling you to mount the bracket right over here. And then I will cut down this flex tubing, which is pretty long. As you can see, it does need to be shortened down to 54 inches, and this is because you need to run these pressure hose through it, and if you leave it that long, the pressure hose is gonna come up to somewhere here and not be able to reach the final destination, which is this hole. But once you cut it down, you're gonna be able to reach this hole. And once I'm done with all this, I'm going to route all the cables, which are organized by length. You see, this is the longest one, almost 8.5 meters, and going down to the shortest one, which is almost 3 meters. And when we come here to the manual, you see I have HD-9ST, and A is the shortest one and the D is the longest one, and basically you need to follow the diagram which they provided. You can see, so the shortest one, it's A, and it does need to come up to the hydraulic piston, which is down here. You see this piston? This is the piston which I need to actually extend, since right now it's compressed. You need to apply, let me go to the other side just a second. You need to open this plug here and apply some pressure, not more than 50 psi. And also you need to open this plug before you apply pressure, this one, because if you don't open this plug, this piston will compress. You will be able to extend it, but once you take off the pressure, it's gonna come back down. So just open these holes and it will stay extended. And how I need to route this wire is basically the shortest one is starting from here down to the piston, then we go into the next one by a length, which need to go through here, down here, and it going down to the piston. And then is this one, this need to go down here, bam bam bam, up to the piston. And last is the longest one, which need to come from down here, bam bam, to the piston down here. And that's it. And also I need to route all these vacuum lines, which is something else I need to do. And before you start routing the cables, just make sure that the lugs are working properly. You can see I can move this back and forth, but most likely they'll be stuck like this. This means that they're not watched to the main watch here. And what you have to do to fix this is simply lift the rails a little bit with your jack. Let me show you. And now a little bit more. And now I think I almost, let me see on the other side. It's kind of tricky, but basically you see I can move it and I am just going to use both my hands and just hold it and lose the jack, but I can't do it with one hand. Let me try like this maybe. Just gonna use it, and you can see that this one is operational now. This one is still not. I need to do the same thing for this side. Finally I can open the garage. I'm still with the old spring, but with the new drums, which you can see. You can use your old spring, but the life of the spring is gonna be about 4,000 cycles, and this one is new, and this spring is not new. This is just temporarily, since my new springs are not here yet. But you can see that I can open the garage door. The new garage door opener is installed, and now the wires are ran to it. A new power outlet plus all the wires for the garage door sensors are ran up to here, and there is one more wire which is for the switch, which is over there, but right now actually this thing is a control panel, so let me show you. This is the control panel, and it can show you the temperature in the garage and the time, and here is the backup battery charge, because this garage door opener does have a backup battery. Also you can turn on and off the light on the mirror. You can see this for the garage door opener, so let me turn off the other lights, and it's pretty good for garage door opener light. You can see how dark it is, and there is quite a gap in the garage door, but that's alright. And when we were testing out the garage door, she kinda flew off the tracks of the rails, since we forgot to put a stopper, since previously the rails were pretty long and now they're kinda short, and these two pieces kinda flew off the rails. That's why we end up installing a stopper. You see this stopper? Just a bolt and a piece of metal, which will stop the garage door from flying off. I mean, right now this thing is stopping the door, but you never know what's gonna happen. There is one more on the other side, and let me show you how actually it's working. I still haven't replaced the spring. This is the stock springs, which is kinda no good, but it does the job for now. So let me open the garage. You can see that it's pretty smooth, so let me close it, and you will see right on the end how the garage door opener is gonna struggle a little bit, since the balance of the spring is not that good. Probably I need to tie that one more turn. It didn't do it this time, but usually it will drop a little bit quicker than what it's supposed to. But for now it's alright. It's almost time to test the lift, and I already ran the feed and the return line for the hydraulic cylinder, plus all the air tubing for the safety locks. And you can see that I added a magnetic base with a zip tie to hold this tubing on every corner. This way I was able to leave a longer tubing in this section, and the installation was a lot easier. This is the magnetic base which I'm talking about. You can see it's pretty neat thing to have. And let me show you the feed and the return line were connected. Basically this is the feed line, which is going up to the front, and here is the return line, and this is the T-fitting for the air tubing. And you can see that there is a little bit of tension on the cables, and this is because I already filled up the tank with ATF fluid, but I still need to add a little bit more, since I ran out of ATF and I went and bought some more. And what is left to do is basically cycle the lift up and down 3 times. This is going to bleed the system, and once I'm done with all this, I gotta do the final leveling of the lift, and this is done by making sure that all the locks are locking at the same time, and if they're not, I need to adjust them, and this is done by adjusting the cables. There is a nut up top, and I gotta stay close by the post and make sure every single lock is locking at the same time. Well, I made a huge mistake when I was filling up the reservoir. I was supposed to fill it up when the lift is down, and it was somewhere here. Then I raised it up and I added more fluid because I'm dumb, and now when the lift is going down, there is no place for this fluid to go, which means I need to extract some ATF now. The first time I was good because maybe it's only 4 gallons, and I already put 5 gallons of ATF here. A big mistake. And I have a lift in the other garage. This is my second one. I mean, it's a different style, but it's pretty much the same idea. It's a scissor lift. Huge mistake. So make sure when you're filling up the reservoir that the lift is down the ground. Now I have to play some more to extract the extra ATF. All the final adjustments are made, and now you can hear all the locks watching at the same time. You're gonna hear them in a second. And basically that's it. Now I need to do a test with a car. There is delay between the locks, that's not good. Gotta fix this. Both cars are parked, and you can see that I have about 1.5 feet of clearance up top, and when we go on the bottom I have about 4 or 5 inches of clearance between the top of the car and the runways, which is more than enough to fit comfortably this car. I can raise the car a few more locks, but that's not gonna work out, since if we go to the back we have the garage door, and you can see that she stopped somewhere around here, and if I go any further it will hit the car, and right now I'm pretty much to the end of the front of the car, and on the rear you can see how far away I stopped from the rear. I have plenty of clearance here, and if I open the garage door you will see how close the car is to the garage door. Just a moment, press the garage door button. You can see how close it is. I'll get the ladder and show you to see better. And that's how much clearance is left here up top. Maybe I can go one more lock and it will be fine, but I don't need to, since you do need to raise the car before you unlock the locks when you want to lower the car to the ground. Now the only thing left is to adjust the front cables, and if you remember, when I was raising up the vehicle, the front locks didn't lock at the same time as the rear ones, and this is because I need to tie down these cables. When the car loosened on the lift, all the locks were locking at the same time, but now we put some load on the lift, and this changed the equation, and now I need to do some adjustments to the front cables. And how I'm going to do this is first remove the car from the bottom, and then I'm going to tie down the nut up top, since right now I don't know if you can see, but the car is sitting on the locks, so basically there is no tension, just a little bit of tension on the cables, and I can tie it down a little bit, and then I'm going to raise up the vehicle, lower it down, and test to see if the locks will lock at the same time. I did a little bit of adjustment. Let me see if this is enough. Alright, you heard the back locks. Now is this one. And now is this one. So I need to tie down this one a little bit more, and this one more than this one. So let's see. I think that they're closing pretty much at the same time. Let's see. You can hear that. You cannot tell which is first. There is a little bit of delay, but that's normal. We're not gonna make it perfect. It's close enough. To unlock the locks, you need to go up a little bit, and then you're gonna press the button. And this is very crucial, because if this thing doesn't unlock all the locks, your lift is gonna go down, and let's say the one on the back is not unlocked, your lift is gonna go like this. So it's kind of dangerous if one of the locks doesn't unlock. That's the bad part. Let me see, I can't do it with one hand, that's too difficult. I'm gonna press the button. It slowly goes down. Yeah, we're going down, but I don't know how to show you. You can see how quick we are going down. It's pretty quick. And basically that's how it's gonna go to the end. And when you go at full throttle, the synchronization of the locks is gonna be a lot better. They do change from the heights for some reason. I think I can go a little bit. Yeah, I have plenty. I do need to make a mark somewhere to know how high I can go. I gotta make a mark somewhere here on the post to know which height, maybe somewhere here with this, and I will know how high I can go without hitting the door. You can always check your locks to make sure everything is good. You see this lock on the left, and when you go here, same thing. See if you can see it. This thing on the left side, yeah, and then you can go to the other side, same thing. This is if you're really scared and not trusting the lift. And the good thing is now you can do an inspection of your vehicle, which is really nice. I have no leaks, which is a good thing. For BMW, this is a miracle. No leaks here. It's all good. Alright. And one more thing which I forgot to mention. You can see that I can go through here easily. I was worried that the post is too close to the wall and I won't be able to go through it, but you can see that I can go through here with no problem, even through the back. Pretty simple. So it's all good. And I guess that's it, guys. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.